Hello guys and welcome to my new video, and today we're gonna make a special video about the 2028 election. Okay, it was a long time ago that I did a video about this. I already have a video about Gavin Newsom against JD Vance. I also have another video about JD Vance against Kamala Harris. And the AOC is said that probably she will run for president in 2028, and I will have a video very shortly, probably. I don't know if next week is possible because it's Christmas, but probably in 2 weeks from now we'll have that. And also, I would have now a prediction. Today's prediction is about the governor of Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear, okay, governor of Kentucky, against, of course, JD Vance, because I think it's ultimately the Republican candidate in 2028. At least everything says that will be the case. Okay, he's the vice president, is leading in all odds in the prediction market. So I think that is what's gonna happen. In the Democratic Party, we have a more wide contest, okay, against Gavin Newsom, AOC, Kamala Harris, Andy Beshear probably as well. I don't know, Josh Shapiro, Mark Kelly, Jan Ossoff, many the Democratic names are on the table. The Republicans, probably only Marco Rubio and JD Vance. I would say my opinion, I would prefer Marco Rubio instead of JD Vance. I'm slightly more Republican, I'm just going to say this clearly, but the predictions and the whole channel is not Republican at all, so this is unbiased. And if you have any problems or any bias on my side, please tell me in the comments. I will answer you the reason I said that instead of other aspect, and I will correct in another video if I am wrong. So I would say that we have the safe states for any Democrat, okay, and I could place here Maine first, also Illinois, Minnesota, sorry, and that's it, I think, and Hawaii, of course, and Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia. Those are the states that are very easy for the Democrat to get. So that means 223 for a Democrat. That's easy for a Democrat to reach 223. So apart from that, it's much harder. Okay, so you'd say for Republicans, of course, those three, except I will just leave this one because that part of Nebraska was the only part in 2024 that shifted to the left, okay? So that is actually interesting. This actually shifted to the left to Kamala Harris, and that was very, very interesting, at least in my view. Okay, I would just leave Kansas for a simple reason, I would say that. And I will leave Texas also, because I will talk to on Kentucky as well, because of very simple reason. He's the governor of Kentucky. And I think that's it. If I'm not, yeah, that's it. Okay, so this is the map. I think it will be in play in 2028. So 223 for the Democrats and 110 for the Republicans. And now you would think this is very easy for the Democrats because they just need less than 50. That's not the case, okay? So we would say that the Democrats, the Republicans will get Florida because, come on, you got governor of Florida is very popular there, Ron DeSantis. And also in Florida, this was a state that voted for Trump by 13.1. So even if Andy Beshear might be a more moderate Democrat, a more conservative Democrat. I didn't mean the word. Okay, I don't mean the word. I'm just saying in terms of being more to the right, in terms of the Democratic Party spectrum. If, for example, if you compare Manzani to Andy Beshear will be to the right of him. So that's the way I'm saying things. Okay, so Florida will stay Republican. I would say that Iowa will stay Republican as well, and Texas will stay Republican because Texas was shifting to the left, okay, to the Democratic Party over the course of the last decades. But now, what is interesting about Texas that Trump erased everything that the Democrats won in the last 14 years. Basically, in 2024, he won by 14. Almost the same margin as Mitt Romney in 2012, which was actually brutal, at least in my expectations. I never thought he would win by 14, probably 10, but not 14. And as you can see here, this is actually interesting in a sense that he did much better in the Hispanic communities, which I don't think that the Republicans will do the same as Trump did, but at least they will not do as poorly as Mitt Romney and as John McCain did in 2012 and 2008, respectively, okay? And a heavier election in 2012. Look at its margins, for example, and look at the margins here. Much, much different. And I would say Kansas will stay Republican because Kansas is shifting away from the Republican Party. You saw that here, especially here in the Johnson County, the suburbs of Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City, Missouri, because they're split in half between Kansas and Missouri. And this part of this county has been shifting away from the Republican Party. I'm sorry. Look at this: 10 points for the Democrats, and here in 2012 was 18 points for the Republicans. So 28 points in 12 years. That's actually brutal. And that's actually very important for the Democratic Party in the sense that they want to flip, of course, Kansas. Overall, it's very hard to flip here counties, or at least make it more competitive in the heartland, very conservative territory, but you're trying to increase the size of Kansas City suburbs, as well here Manhattan, Topeka, and Lawrence. Here's not a big city at all, but I don't know why they put the name there. Dogecoin, probably. Dogecoin City. But as you can see here, it's mainly about this 5 counties, okay? And the Democrats are really trying to enhance the margins there. For example, here, like 2 points in Raleigh County. This was more than 13. So we would say that they were shifting away in this part of the state. Very important for the future. Not in 2028, in my opinion. So I would think that Nevada and Arizona, I think, will stay Republican, and Nevada as well, because I'm counting on the Hispanic voters to stay a little bbit more Republican than they used to in the past. And Trump actually did very well in Nevada, at least according to my expectations. I never thought a 3-point win, 3.1 was possible. I think it was like 1.5, 2, but not 3.1. And this was actually a very important win in the Hispanic communities around Vegas, for example. Only 3 points. Look at Obama here in 2012 was more than 15. So this Hispanic communities really matters for the Republicans, because they're gaining a lot in those communities, and they're actually making things like Nevada much redder, and also in Arizona, in places like Yuma County and the suburbs of Tucson, and a lot of Mojave as well. They're doing much better, okay? Look, for example, here, I don't know if that's actually much better, but look, 12 points to 20. So that's actually matter in Yuma County, even though Arizona is slightly more Democratic than it was before because of the swing in Maricopa County and Tucson, okay? Phoenix, one of the growing and the fastest growing counties in the whole country, okay? The Maricopa County. And I would say this will continue to replicate. That's why the reason I put it like this. So Nebraska second, I think it will stay Republican, but Nebraska first will stay Republican, and Nebraska second will stay Democratic. Okay, I still think that's the swing is gonna happen. Why? Because it's Lincoln, Lancaster County shifting away from the Republicans as well. I have a video about Nebraska and about Kansas. You can search in on the channel of the swing they had in the previous decades. Okay, very important in both states. They're shifting away from the Republican Party and they're going to the Democrats, but still in a long-term prediction. Okay, in like 20, 30 years from now. So we'd say that Maine second will probably stay Republican. I'm sorry, and Maine at large will go Democratic. Okay. And now you can see it's very balanced between both parties. So we'd say North Carolina. I'm going to leave North Carolina for last. I'm going to say Ohio is going to stay Republican, even though Andy Beshear is going to do much better there. And I would say that he will lose Kentucky as well, because even though he was governor of there, he's a very popular governor. He did great. He won by 3, I think, in 2023. He did much better there than previous Democrats, of course, because this was a state that Trump won by more than 30, I think, 31 almost. So this is actually important in significance that Andy Beshear is probably going to lose like by this margin, by a lean margin, but it's going to lose the same way. So it doesn't matter for the Electoral College, but he will do a much better job than previous Democrats, because he's a popular governor. He's from there. His family is very popular in Kentucky, so I would say that this is going to be a competitive state. Not as competitive as to flip, but probably will be great. So I would say that Michigan will stay a Republican, okay, but Wisconsin and Pennsylvania will go Democratic, okay. This is an interesting scenario. I will explain in a bit. Why? Because here in Michigan you have the auto workers, and the message that the Republican Party has been doing with tariffs, with protectionism, that's actually great in a way that incentivizes those people to vote for them in the unions, in the auto worker part of Michigan and also Ohio. Even though even though probably, and Beshear is probably going to do great with blue-collar workers, but Trump and the Republican Party has that advance, and that's why I think Michigan will probably stay Republican, but the other two are gonna split votes, which is very interesting. Okay, this is not an easy way to do because Pennsylvania was 100 plus, 100,000 plus, and in Michigan was only 80 something thousand plus. But that's actually my prediction right now. Georgia's probably going to stay Democratic because it's shifting away, and now the Democrats just reached 271. So Georgia's probably going to stay Democratic. Okay, the swing has been cleared over the course of the last decades. Okay, and even though Trump won it, I think Andy Beshear is probably going to win it, and North Carolina will probably stay as well. I'm sorry, will probably go Republican because of the lack of enthusiasm in the black voters to vote for a Democratic candidate. It's a little bit more moderate, not a lot of appeal in the minorities, so I would say that this will stay Republican. But this is a prediction if the Trump administration goes reasonably well, at least in according to the Biden's administration, okay, in terms of approval rating, like being down 15 or 20 points. If there's ultimately a Great Depression or a financial crisis, this will probably go much better for the Democrats and much worse for the Republicans. So guys, this was the video. I hope you have liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your like, and I'll be back on Monday. So I will just say something about this. Next week, we won't have a video on the 23rd of December and 26th of December, okay? Because it's Christmas time, and I want to spend the time with my family. And we'll still have 3 videos instead of 5 next week. But doesn't matter, guys. We'll be back on. We shall have videos on Monday and Tuesday, I think, but we don't have on Wednesday. Neither on Thursday, neither on Friday, I'm sorry, but I'll be back on Sunday with another video. So guys, thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.